Okay, so this is the last and final video reviewing this essay. All right, so for part five discussion, this is what you're going to do. For this last section, you are to evaluate the entire process of editing the assigned manuscript and writing this essay. The idea for this section is to take stock, reflect on what you had done and what you learned going through this process. So I want you to address these points in complete sentences and writing cohesive paragraphs. All right. Um, before, so these are the points you're going to address. Before doing this assessment, what was your attitude towards writing essays? Right. The second one I'm having you do is, have you ever thought about writing and your relationship to it? Okay. Because this is encouraging you to really think about writing. Because just to give you an example of my own experience, when I first started out, like in junior college and then eventually transferring to UCSB as an undergrad, I really hated writing. I felt that it was like painful, all this other stuff. But once I realized my relationship to writing, I really tried to make a concerted effort to improve my writing because of the career choices that I made. To like continue in academia and all that other good stuff. But it's beneficial to be able to think of the different type of relationships that you have in academia or just any aspect of your life to really uh, contemplate if that's what you want to do and so on and so forth, right? Okay, so then that's for point number two. So point number three, what you're going to do after completing the first half of the editing your peer's manuscript, what did you learn about writing? All right. So based on what you experienced with the assigned essay that I gave you 2 weeks ago or so, um, what did you think about that exercise? What did you think about reading that essay, and what did that teach you or show you about writing? Right. Even though that you're reading someone else's words, right? Who's at this might make me sound terrible, but pretty much at like your level as undergraduates in terms of how each one of you understands writing, if that makes sense. All right. Okay. And then point number four, what did you learn by writing the second part of the peer editing exercise? Meaning, now that this exercise or this essay is encouraging you to think about writing and how to go through the editing process, paraphrasing, and some of the other things that you've done for this essay or this exercise, what are your thoughts about it? Right? What did you learn? Based on reading that essay, do you think that it would help you or encourage you to write clearer or to look for ways how to express yourself more effectively and efficiently in writing? Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And then the last point is, do you think completing this assignment makes you think differently about writing? Right. So you'll notice that this is all about you and your relationship to writing and your thinking and all that. So it would be okay for you to say I think versus I feel, right? And I know it might be difficult because we're so used to not necessarily thinking about certain phrases that we use all the time. Because to say something like I think versus I feel, I think at least gives the impression that you're systematically and logically thinking about something. And if you say something like, well, I feel, well, feelings, for lack of a better phrasing, is not evidence. And especially in this context, right? So you want to use the essay that you wrote, and also, if you're able to, integrate my comments into the essay as well, right? Because this is one of the ways of how to improve writing, all right, and organization and all that other stuff that's associated with it. So hopefully this makes sense. And so I'm done with this part of the video. So now I'm just going to upload it and make it accessible to everyone for this week. Okay.